it's Marlene here with Uniquely Ella. If you're new to my channel, welcome to all my new subscribers, which have been quite a few of them. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad thank you for all the nice comments and all those good things that I always say in the beginning of the videos. Today, hopefully I'll have a quick little flip of, guys, I can't wait to actually do stuff. I mean, like, show you little stuff that I do. Sometimes I feel like all I do is flips, which is nice. I like looking at flips because it gives me a lot of ideas, maybe things that I want to use, but I don't want my channel to be like all flip. I just want it to also show you what I do. But guys, I know it's an excuse, but oh my god, where does time go? But anyway, let's get started. I have two beautiful, I think, because this kind of goes back a little bit into my roots. My little coffee that I was having. This kind of, oh, I had coffee, so you know I'm going to talk. This kind of goes back a little bit into my roots when I first started crafting many years ago. I was really into the whole vintage, shabby, like mainly vintage, I love that. So this was so nice to go back and dig in through my boxes and find, you know, all the goodies that I kind of put aside. For my props, I'm using this really beautiful collar that I cut a piece off, and one of my favorite necklaces that I think I showed you in one of my, you know, when I was doing my tour of, you know, my junky jewelry thing. I think I found that junky. I love it. So that's my little prop. Just put something pretty so you can see it. So anyway, I have named her Ofelia. She looks like an Ofelia to me, plus I love that name. I had an aunt named Ofelia, and oh, I love that name, and I think she looks like an Ofelia, and she's really pretty. So again, it's my regular journal making that I do, which is a one signature. This little baby, you have to be gentle when you flip her pages, because I went on a binge of making like embellishments and stuff to put in, and they're heavy. It's very heavy. I backed everything up with either cardstock or file folder or cardboard, so it's heavy. So when you flip the pages, they're going to be heavy, so be gentle with the pages. So she is a one signature, again, the exposed binding, but this time I ran across, I found in my box of seam binding, I found, oh my god, I have so much seam binding. I have like seam binding that I've, you know, tea-dyed, and also I crushed up, and you know, but this one is not, and it's the white, but it's kind of like an off-white almost. But anyway, I just wanted to use that throughout, so I used it as much as I could. And then I just, you know, my remnants, you know how I like to use my, once in a while I'll do like a piece, even though this was salvaged from some kind of garment. I get asked a lot, where do I get my laces? Because they're different. They're not like from the store. They are not. Guys, what I do, which I'm sure most of you guys already figured out, what I do is that I like to buy clothing, vintage clothing, anything I can get my hands on. Even though it's getting, you know, a little bit more, it's, first of all, it's not as inexpensive as it used to be, and it's getting a little harder to find, but I may buy, if I really like a blouse and I like the trim on the blouse, I don't care how much it is, I'm buying it. That's why my journals go, I have so much material that I use in my journals. So my laces and trim, guys, are mainly salvaged. They're either, you know, tablecloth. It could be like a bed linen, like a little piece on the bottom, a little girl's dress. It could be anything. I'll buy it, but I don't use the whole thing. I only use the, you know, the laces and stuff. That's why my journals look, you know, kind of like different. All the pieces are different, and even though I use a lot of laces, I don't repeat it. I use, you know, and that's why. So that's my tip. If you have a minute to run in a thrift store or something like that, just don't think you're buying for you. Think you're buying, you know, to salvage the laces and stuff. And that's how I like to work. So that's where I get my laces from. So anyway, she's a one signature, and she's a little sturdy, but still she's flexible. So let me show you what I did with her. So let's put Ofelia over here aside. And then here, okay, so I bound her with, you know, she's tied with the German twine thing that I like to use, like that. And see, she is like really, she's got all kinds of little stuff hanging. I have fun with her, and I still couldn't put in all that I wanted to put in because this time I worked backwards. I usually do her cover, the presentation piece, the laces, and then the last thing I do is the inserts that I put in. This time I started working backwards, and I started working on the inserts. Well, what did I do after I did all the laces and everything? She wouldn't have been able to close. It was just too much, so I had to remove some of the inserts. But she's very chunky, and she's got lots of things in it, like I always like to do it, but with plenty of room for you to journal on. Okay, so Ophelia's little presentation piece are these two little pieces here. But let me show you her cover because I really loved her cover. I went ahead and I, you know, she's see how she's a little hard but not too hard. I did some sewing in the back, and then I veiled her with this fabric that I'm like, I used it a lot, I'm in love with. And then this little trim I found not too long ago. I think this was some kind of a tablecloth or something, and this I've had in my stash, this trim, just to kind of trim all that off. I wanted to make this a pocket, but then I changed my mind. I don't want a pocket there. I just want it to be flat. And then that's the back, where I folded a little bit of everything. And I love this paper, guys. I'm going to list everybody underneath. Oh, I use so many things. I got to give a shout out to a couple of... I don't like when I'm not prepared, but I'm going to list everything underneath, and I'm going to tell you where I got it from, but there's a couple of things I wanted to point out, but I'll list it underneath. I'll list it and I'll tell you what it is. Oh God, I'm so bad with names. So this is Ofelia. See, that's her. Okay, so for her little presentation piece, I made her a little journaling card. This is a paper collection that I love. I'm going to list that underneath. And I'm going to put like journaling spot that's on top of the journal presentation piece or something like that, so you know what paper collection this is from, because it's beautiful. I used this paper collection before. So I went ahead and did like a little long tab here, and I did a little bit of stenciling because I wanted to mute this color a little bit, so just enough. I wanted some of it to peek through, but I wanted to mute it, so I did that by doing stenciling. And then here I have a little piece of like this tattering thing, and this I've used a lot. I'm almost running out. It's just the remnants of a skirt. These little tags, I went crazy and I made a whole bunch of these little tags, and I love them. And Ofelia has a lot of pearls, so her primary embellishment was like, I was thinking of pearls. So that's the journaling spot that's on top of Ofelia. And then I made her, this was one of the little journaling things that I went on a binge to make. And this is a fold like this. Folds in 3. I was inspired, guys, by so many. If you ever cannot think of something to do, just go on YouTube. There's so many wonderful channels to, you know, some of the ladies that do the everyday video. I don't know how they do it, like Gail and Roxy. I love just putting them in the background and just kind of watching them. But there's also somebody that I discovered not too long ago, 700 Willow. I'm going to list everybody underneath. She does a lot of these little things, so I was inspired by so many people. But the primary inspiration was from Ruby and Pearl. She is the digital designer that put the kit together with all these pretty images that you're going to see throughout the journal. And she calls them her girls, and they're so beautiful. And whenever I want to splurge and kind of treat myself to something, I just go to Ruby and Pearl and purchase me a kit that I don't have. And there are not too many of them that I don't have, but this one I just had to have. So doesn't she look like an Ofelia? She does. So that's from Ruby and Pearl. So I did my tri-fold little thing here, and then I just put like Ofelia on top. Well, first I did layering and layering and layering, and then I put Ofelia on top. Guys, this came off a belt. Let me show you a perfect example how, look, how you can salvage things and use them. Like, look, this was a belt I rescued from a dress. I bought this dress, was like not cheap, but at the thrift shop. I don't know, $12 or something. But I bought it just because of the belt. See that? I think that was a dress. I'm not sure now because now I'm looking at the back and I don't know. But anyway, see? This little piece came off this piece. So you gotta, when you're out there, look at things, you know, differently. So I gave her that little, I made like a little cluster there and gave her the little bling, because she has a little bling, but mainly pearls. And then she has like a little tuck over here, like a little tuck spot right here. And then you open her up again. The seam binding that I use. See, the back is all like that. Then you open her up, and it's like a little fold like that you can journal on here. You can journal back here if you like. And then I made her, oh, these right here. The number one, with the numbers, this is from Saturday Stamper. I have it. See, it's right here. Saturday Stamper Company. That's what this one is. But this, guys, these little tags right here are from a kit. I don't want to say the wrong name, but I just got it and I'm in love. She's on Instagram. These right here, I have them throughout my journal. They're gorgeous. And I'm going to list her store underneath. And I feel so ashamed that I don't remember the name, but I love her stuff. So I'm going to list that. So I did like a little journaling something here. So that goes there. And you can also hide little stuff in here if you want. So that would be nice. Okay, so let's go through Ofelia. I showed you the back. Let me just kind of flip kind of quick a little bit because I talk a lot. Okay, so for her center, I just put, look how pretty this trim down here is. I love it. So this is a trim, and then this is a larger trim that I flipped. But then I wanted to add a little trim in there. So there's a lot of laces and things going on. Here I use a glassine bag. I used an image. I veiled it. And then there's just some little journaling. This is from Sample Design, which I love her shop too. And I love these so much. I like the shape. I like that they're long. So that goes in here. So I'm going to do Ofelia a little faster, okay? This is the same paper collection, the same kit as this kit. Okay, so I'm going to list that. I'm going to call this like, okay, you already know Ruby and Pearl is the girls. This is the primary kit, so I'm going to call it like primary kit, and I'm going to link her there. So that's that. I have a lot of my little half or quarter pages that I like because you can add things here. So again, I like to leave plenty of room for you to do your, I love this tab there, for you to do your thing. Some stenciling, journaling. Here I created a little pocket. Oh my God, these, I love her channel on YouTube. I'm going to call these like loose flowers cutouts. It starts with an O, and I know I'm going to mess up her name. So I bought several kits from her, and I love this. Cute little inserts all over. So that's her. I'm going to list her underneath. And then this is from something I salvage. And then here, this is a little journaling thingy. This is from Ruby and Pearl. Look how pretty she looks, like an angel. I did a little stenciling on white. See, this came off somewhere because I can see the tattered stuff here. And then I put two of these little flowers here. And look how pretty. Look at this paper collection. This is beautiful too. So I got like two paper collections going on. This one and this one. And again, I'm going to list. This is the same as the one on the cover. I love it. So I'm going to list that also underneath. I love this so much that I used it here too. And again, I did a lot of sewing, like you can tell. That's why my journals are so time consuming. because I do a lot of sewing, and I sit there and I like to de-stress as many edges as I humanly possibly can. So, and that's also very relaxing. This came off, I think this came off some kind of curtain or something. Here I have, this is one of those, this came off a tablecloth. This is a real vintage. This is a little fragile, but not too much. Here I have 2 little images. And then here I did a tag with another pearl. And I went ahead and veiled it a little bit because I wanted to mute. This was like a little too bright of a pink for me. So I wanted to mute it a little bit, and I think I did it with that fabric. And this stamp is not old. It's a reproduction, but I like it. So that goes in here. And then here, guys, thank you for all the tips I got on rusting. I finally was able to get my rusting perfect. Look how pretty. And then more of my salvage jewelry piece. And then on this side, I have one of these little cards from this inspirational index thing that I had. A little ticket that I embellished a little bit, and it's also been tea-dyed, and I sewed on it. And this is another of the pretty samples. Little journaling spots, receipt tickets. And then here, what I did, I think this was like that. I think holding that like that. This is one of these things that I created. This is another ruby and pearl image. This is a little, like a side tuck that I created. And there's a little, I flipped this little edge over. And there's a little journaling spot there. I made a little cluster here. A ticket, some fabric. I love this image. The back looks like that. And then I have this beautiful piece here that I had to fold because so that it would fit. Isn't that pretty? I have this and a little journaling. So that goes in here. I like these. Were fun to make. And you can make them like this too, but then you can't, you know, if you can make them permanently like this if you like, but I wanted to make it floating. A little bit of stenciling, more beautiful pages. I love this trim. And then here I made, this is the other half of the little side pocket, a little pocket that I made there. This is not floating, this is like a permanent pocket. It's like attached to this, and it's just a pocket like I showed you. Put things in, some of my script paper. And then in this pocket, guys, I'm so happy I found, this is like a ribbon, but it's like a wire ribbon, and I love it because it'll give you 3-dimension on anything you put it on. I thought of putting it in the cover, but then I changed my mind. I did a little bit of sewing, some stenciling. I love this. And then here I created like a little tuck, and then I just had her little eyes peeking through, like she's peeking through. And then there's this little Polaroid and a couple of little journaling little things. Some more stencil on this page. Here on this page with another rusted paper clips that you guys helped me do. Guys, let me show you. Here I have a little doily that I sewed in. And then underneath the doily I have, this is very old, dictionary page, a little fragile, but it's very pretty. You can use it on another journal if you want. I have this image. I think she looks super elegant and gorgeous. She's like on top of the doily. This I love. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to list her. This is from the same, I found this little envelope, glassine envelope, and this little ticket fits in there perfect. So I'm going to list her store. This is the same store that I told you about the other little tickets. Guys, one day I'm going to be better with names or more prepared. I use this blingy little, I love that blingy little brad. It looks pretty. And then this was like on top of it. So this, all this was on top, you know, the paper clip was holding that together. And then behind the doily here, I have this. And then I put one of those flowers again that I told you. And then here I have a gigantic journaling tab right here. I have this pretty, you can journal in the back if you like. This is from Ruby and Pearl. And then guys, since this was like a lot of pictures of the girls, I went to look what I could find that had to do with like film and stuff like that. And I do have a few little things. I found this little envelope. It's a little fragile, but it had like slides in it. And so I went ahead and added a couple for you that you can use on your other journals if you like. So I have this one and this one, and that goes in there very gently, and that goes like that. So that goes there. I made this tag. I made the tag into like a little tuck spot. I did some stenciling, sewing. This is a rusted pin that turned out really well. Thank you guys for all your tips. And then here I have a little journaling little card. And this is, I think this is from a French book. If you ever, you know, you can cut a little snippet of it or something. Like, that goes there. And I love this trim right here. There's a lot going on. This came from a rescue fabric piece. This did not. I think this I had. And then this is the center. For the center, what I did is I chose this paper because I love the blue. A little bit of the blue. I did some stenciling all around. And then I found this. I had this in my stash. And I swear the flowers on the lace look like these flowers. And it's all like, you know, just tattered and all raggedy. It's not an old piece. This is a reproduction of something new. But the fact that it's all tattering like that makes it look old to me. So that's the center. That's what I chose for the center. I love it. And I like that it's all like that. Let me show you up close so you can see how these flowers, guys. Look at that. Doesn't that look like that? What are the odds of me finding that? I think, look at the little dots, and then look at the little dots here. So that was like meant to be. And then here I have like two little things tucked in. One is this image that I love. This is from that collection. Look at the back of these dresses. This is a very popular image. A lot of the girls have used it. So all I did was just framed it on vintage music sheet, and then did a little something here at the corner. But I love that image. I mean, I hate to say this, but I just want to go back there with the pair of scissors and just give me a little piece, give me a little piece, give me a little, but you know, that's just me. And then I made an envelope from the same paper collection that's in the front. And then this envelope, I think I'm going to pull it down. On the top, there's just a little journaling thing in there. On the top of the envelope, I added this little journaling spot, and with a rusted paper clip, and then I framed this image that I am like in love with. And I found these were Tim Holtz. I haven't looked at his product, so I'm not sure if this is still around. It should be. It was very popular. It was like film strips, and it came in a little tin box like that. And I opened my drawer, and I had like two boxes, and one was halfway full, the other one wasn't even used. So I said, oh Lord, thank you, this is perfect for this journal. So I put a little piece there. These little flowers I had, so I did like a little clusters. There's two pieces of lace going on here. I love to layer my lace. So that goes on top of the little card. And then I think the little envelope, and then the envelope, I just have one of these that you can go ahead and journal in the back. Guys, I always try to do my flips to just be half an hour. Oh, maybe I shouldn't talk so much in the beginning, but they never are. So, more pages. I love that. and pages. And pages. And this, I think this came off a cooking book, I think. And then here I just have like a little cluster again with the rusted paper clips. Another one of the labels. They're from, this is a new kit I think that person has. A little image. This is a recipe card that's not old. It's kind of like new. But I tea-dyed it and use it here. And this is from that recipe book. This is the same recipe book as that. And that goes there. This is another popular image. And then what I have here is like a little tab. Like that. This is from the same girl as the little labels that I've been showing you throughout. This image, I love that image. And another little journaling spot. Here I have a little side tuck out of music sheet, and then I have that in there for you to journal on. Oh boy, maybe I can do it this time. More pages. We're almost done, guys. One more little pocket. This time I put her little cutout. I permanently put it there. And there's just a few things going on. I love these polka dots from, this is an old cooking book. I don't want to open it up because I don't have a lot of time. But go cooking book. And then this is another image from the, like that, from old, this is some kind of picture negative that I told you that I collect. More journaling, little spots, another label from the kit, and I think that's it. Yeah, and this is the back of a journal. So I'm sorry that I rushed a little bit at the end, but I gotta pace myself. I really want to keep these flips at half an hour. And if I didn't talk too much in the beginning, I would. Okay, guys, I hope you liked Ofelia. She was a lot of fun because I went back to my vintage goodness, so that was a lot of fun to make. I hope you liked her. And thanks for watching, guys, for all your support and your beautiful comments. I love you all. Thanks for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.